Today I'd like to do a product review on a powerhouse of a flashlight. This is made by Thrunite. This is the Thrunite TN35. It's an awesome, very powerful flashlight. It has a maximum output of 2750 lumens. Yep, that's right, 2750 lumens, which is just absolutely nuts. It's kind of a combination of the TN30 and the TN31. Thrunite designed it, kind of a blend of those two. One was good for throw and one was good for flood. This one's good for both. So normally for these product reviews, I like going through all the different specs and the modes of operation, do a size and weight check. I think for this one, it's just best to just show it in action. So I'm going to just do a quick little rundown. It's basically a clicky tail cap that you see here, and then once you turn it on, you go through the various modes through this little slide mechanism here. It runs on 3 18650 batteries, and it has all the same kind of quality that you expect from Thrunite as far as the water resistance rating, the quality of the reflector that you see there, which is just awesome. It has the nice steel bezel there, all the material's great, the texture is just awesome, does tail stand, so all the good old stuff. I'm just going to skip right to that. I'll put all that kind of specification information in the description box below, and instead let's just focus on various applications on how this could be used. This is mainly designed to be used for search and rescue, for military, for law enforcement, for outdoors activities, hunting, and that's its best use. It also comes with a nice little holster that you see here. So let's go outside and show this thing in action. I'm around 100 feet away from a city wall, so let's go through all the modes of the TN35. Right now I have it on a very super low mode, as you see here. I mean, that's not bright at all, just bright enough to kind of show where you're going. But let's shine it up on the wall now on the regular modes. So we have low. Here's medium. It has tons of throw, but it's just, the whole area is lit up right now, so a good flood as well. See, we got high right here, which is just nuts. And then here's the turbo mode. Let's go back down to high, medium, and low. And then if you go to strobe, that you see here, I mean, that's totally disorienting. It kind of fluctuates through various brightnesses, and that's just really, really cool. Alright, so now that we're familiar with all the modes of this thing, let's see it in action. What I'd like to do now is just drive around in the city and shine the TN35 on various locations. Let's get started. Here's another city wall. Man, that thing throws. Let's check out this park. While we're here at the park, I figured we could do an IPX8 water resistant rating test. Let's go ahead and dunk the TN35 into this pond. As you can see, it's just buzzing right through that water. And there you go. Here's an old school with almost no lights. Let's take another look at that basketball court. That is impressive. As always, let's go through the pros and cons of this flashlight. Starting off first with the pros. So the best thing about this flashlight, as you might have guessed, is it is just an absolute beast. It has so much throw, so much flood. The 2750 lumens is just ridiculous. Don't shine it into anyone's eyes unless you really want to, because they're going to get pissed off if you do it at them. It is so bright. I've had it shine on me a few times, and you're kind of seeing spots for the next day or so. So the next pro that I have is just the general craftsmanship of this. You're kind of expecting this now from Thrunite. They just make high quality flashlights. Everything about it seems like it was well thought out. The quality control is great. It just feels like a high quality flashlight. So when you're spending $180, like what the price tag is of this, you kind of want to have it, feel good. I like having the tail cap, the flat tail cap with the clicky on it. And I also like that you could kind of preset whatever mode that you want to be at. So if you want to be at high all the time, you just leave it there and then, click and then you're on high. Versus other flashlights where you're basically going to have to toggle through to get to the mode that you want. You could kind of preset it to whatever you're most comfortable with or whatever your desire is on it. I like having flashlights that are IPX8 water resistant, just in case I happen to drop it in the toilet, which I never do, but just in case. I like the grip on it as well. I also like that it's kind of stumpy in its size, so it's actually one of the ones where you might actually use it, especially if you're out in the field with the holster versus one that's a big long club like that. It's stumpy, so it's kind of thick, but it's doable to have on your belt, especially if you're in the right field. And let's see, basically that's it for all the pros. So let's move on to the cons. Here's what I have listed for the cons. There's not too many. Now the first con that I have, and the number one that most people are going to say, is at $180, it's kind of expensive for a flashlight. After all, you can get a mag light for less than $30, although it's nowhere near the power that you're going to get for this. For $180, it's actually going to be a flashlight that you're going to want to use, because you're not going to want to just store it in your drawer or anything like that, or just have it on your desk. It's going to be one, it wants to go out in the field, and you're kind of paying for that high quality that you could always rely on for an intended purpose of search and rescue, law enforcement, things like that. You kind of have to pay money for that. So that's the number one con. Number two, I really don't like any kind of batteries that are numbers, like 18650s, ZR123s, anything with a number I usually shy away from as much as possible. I prefer ones AA, AAA, anything I could get at a 7-Eleven. So you're going to spend a little bit more money for batteries on this, and with these kind of flashlights, I find that you go through batteries often, so you're going to have to then get the rechargeable batteries, which cost a little bit more, and you just kind of have to go through that process. But I find that with most of these high-powered flashlights, that's kind of the battery type of choice. So then number three is that I find that it's only useful for one particular purpose, and that's for search and rescue, law enforcement. It doesn't have as many uses as some of the other flashlights, like the Catapult series, which you could also have for self-defense, tactical type flashlight. This is more of just a stumpy flashlight. You're not going to really go clubbing with it or anything like that, or mount it to anything. So it has, I think, a little bit more limited uses. Although for the uses that it does have, it's awesome. So, and that's all I have really listed for the cons. Another one that kind of sometimes it bothers me is I do like this functionality of the mode selection here, but I find that sometimes when you go into if you have it in standby, sometimes I have difficulty getting it to actually go back on to what I intended it for. So sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. I kind of wish that the standby was way at the end here instead of in the middle, so I could go all the way from high to strobe immediately. So, but again, that's just a little minor kind of complaint. So that's all I have listed for the cons. That's going to do it for this product review of the Thrunite TN35. This is just an absolute beast of a flashlight that is high in quality. At $180, you're going to want to actually have this thing put to use. You're not going to want to keep this in your drawer at home and use as a general home flashlight or even as an EDC flashlight. It's way too big for that. This thing is meant to be put out in the field and put to good use. If you're in search and rescue, law enforcement, anything like that, where you're outside searching for things, this is kind of the flashlight you want to go with. It's still compact in size as far as length goes, has a nice holster with it, and it just is so bright when you're outside. It practically melts the paint off of houses and gives small animals third-degree burns, although no animals were harmed in the making of this product review. So please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comments section, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this product review of the Thrunite TN35. See you guys later.